Obviously, very hard-fought, tough win. Giving up a lead late like that, give those guys credit for not quitting and fighting to the very end. We got to do a better job trying to close that thing out in regulation. But we've learned a lot about our team in different ways throughout the season. Every result, over our 9 wins and our 2 losses. Excuse me. We've learned a lot about our team, and I think we learned some new things today. And was really proud of the way you're on the road in the NFC North, and momentum is not just lost, it's completely lost, and there's very many groups that might not respond that way, getting the stop, and then finding a way to overcome, some adversity, some caused by ourselves, but Sam Darnold was phenomenal through the air today, making a lot of plays. Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson, I just want to highlight because both. I've been waiting for this Addison kind of game, and it's the way the game kind of played out today with kind of wanting to have him majorly involved and then him going out and making a lot of plays. And then TJ, with the 7 for 115, what an impact on our offense he is. Aaron Jones over 100 yards, and I do want to highlight our offensive line. Against a team defensively that has really prided itself on, being a physical group up front. I just love the way we came off the ball. There were still some things we've got to clean up, some negatives, some plays where their movement might have caused some things for us. But across the board, that group was really solid. We had the 2 special teams, the blocked field goal and the fumble recovery on the punt return. Didn't love the kickoff return late in the game, and then the onside kick. But football is it's a game where you've got to be able to respond. It's never going to be perfect, and this group is a special group, and it's a road win in the NFC North. And I'm really proud of our team. Injury updates: Ivan Pace did get a hamstring. Tough play. Haven't got a chance to watch it back yet, but it sounds like. Kind of got rolled up a little bit, or however you describe it. We'll do some evaluation on him tomorrow. Cam Robinson got the foot. I thought Quest stepped in for him and really did a nice job. And then Jay Ward got an elbow and will be evaluated and tested tomorrow. Sam obviously, had his foot rolled up on, but returned after Nick Mullins converted a 3rd and long.
Kevin, what was the conversation like when Sam comes out there and is able to go back 2 plays later? Was he pretty adamant about, I want to get back in as quick as possible? What was he like on the sideline?
Yeah, in the middle of the drive, I actually did not speak with him. He was getting evaluated. We got that first down, and then he was jogging back on the field. Then I can actually have the most dialogue with him, believe it or not, when he's back, on the field and using the headset. My favorite kind of dialogue when he can't return any communication besides a head nod or a thumbs up. And I just asked him, a scale of 1 to 10, are you above a 6 right now? And he gave me a thumbs up, and I said an 8, and he gave me a thumbs up, and then I think he said stop asking. So we actually still, on that keeper to Jordan that we hit for a nice gain, still called a keeper with him coming out to his left, and he made a great throw with Sanborn right in his face.
In overtime, he hadn't had that chance to play that in that kind of situation for you guys, but
yeah.
Just the way he took control.
And to overcome, it seemed like the sack, I was disappointed in the first down sack, kind of a drive starter. We end up canning the play and not kind of the look we wanted for the can, and it's like I kind of wanted to see how he would respond. Now we're 2nd and long. We immediately get that first down. Convert a huge 3rd down to J.A., and then it was like, okay, we're rolling, and then we have a penalty that knocks us back. And it was just the ability to overcome and his trust in me, giving him and my trust in him. We were going to do it via the pass in that drive for the most part, try to mix some runs in there if we could, but I think that, when your best is required, I had no hesitation of trying to attack what I was seeing and try to get our guys going to get down there and give Park a chance.
So overtime starts and in your head we're throwing.
No, it's not like that. It's just once you have a 2nd and whatever it was, 18, whatever it was, and then you're trying to get a run off and you get a couple plays in, get an earned first down, and then we just felt like get back on track mode. And then through those plays, through those downs, it kind of, if we would have been second and, manageable for that whole drive, I would have been running the football. That's kind of what I meant by that. Glad you clarified.
Did you learn anything about Sam today?
Yeah, I thought he, across the board, show me somebody that had a better game at the quarterback position. I mean, maybe the guy on the other sideline, to be honest, he played his tail off. But, just that kind of game, in under those circumstances on the road in the NFC North, where at any point in time, with the type of game he had up until that point, there could have been a moment where, maybe we gave up the lead. Maybe today's not our day. And they're just not only just Sam, but our whole team. These guys are a really, really tough group, and they're so totally connected and just relentless, even when, we cause a lot of the things like giving up an 11-point lead and just kind of the same way it felt like we were complementary throughout a lot of the day with all three phases. It felt like we were kind of, trying to recapture just consistency across the board. And credit Chicago, they did a lot of things, made a lot of plays and basically every play they needed to make to come back from 11 points down, they did. And we had to then respond, and we did. So getting out of here with a win, hard fought. Credit to those guys for battling on the other sideline. And like I said, I thought Caleb was fantastic today.
What are your thoughts on having to deal with him twice a year?
Yeah, I told him after the game, because we had spent some time together pre-draft, and really, I've known Caleb for a long time, and I think the world of him. He's just continues to get better and better, and you can see it when he starts creating off schedule and that change of direction and athleticism. And we had him dead to rights a couple times, and he gets out and makes huge plays. It's going to be a challenge. We're going to have to play as consistently as possible and disciplined as possible against him as he continues to grow. And I look forward to the challenge of competing against him because he's going to be a really good player.
You're waiting on an Addison day like this. What do you feel like it was about today that allowed him to have as much success as he had?
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, Alec, of how we put together the game plan. It wasn't like it was a game where we were like, okay, it's going to be all Jordan and TJ. That's not how it works. Justin Jefferson's a major part of our team. It just a lot of times how the coverage dictated. It was going to be an example where Jordan had some opportunities. We were able to get over the top of their quarters coverage for what was a pretty phenomenal catch. And then he was able to get over the top. We're calling a similar play to what we called, if you guys remember, against the Colts, I believe, when we threw the interception to Justin on the dagger. And if you go back and look at that play, it was a pretty similar look. And, we had some dialogue about that. If they wanted to play tight down into the boundary right there, Sam, be ready. And he threw it. That was one of the prettier throws I've seen. Considering, like, when you're getting to that throw, Jordan understanding to take it a little bit higher than maybe normally over the top of the coverage. Just a phenomenal play to get us going. We didn't ultimately capitalize on it, had a negative run with a little bit of miscommunication on the movement up front, and then ultimately had to settle for 3. So far from perfect offensively, but I was happy with the way we were able to run it and then get some explosive via the pass, especially when the game was on the line.
What was your view of the onside kick?
It just, was my view was probably too good, Kevin. I'm going to see that for many sleepless nights here moving forward. It was right in front of me, and it was a really good kick. Obviously, it hit one of our guys. You're expecting on that roller kind of play to try to, have that front line, see if they can go up and make contact and allow the guys to get the ball. But we're going to have to take a look at that because, it's not a high percentage play. So when you give one up in a critical moment like that, followed right up by, a big old dagger hit to get him in field goal range, I got to do a better job.
On the block field goal, did you see anything on the tape this week from the end of the game block last week Chicago had with Green Bay that allowed you to get to that one?
I would have to see it. I know we big JT, Jerry Tillery, got his hand on it. I don't, we took a look at that play, obviously, just based upon the rule and understanding that the rule came back that it was, had it been called a penalty last week, maybe it would have stayed a penalty. Had it not, like it wasn't a penalty. So we just, we didn't scheme anything up off of that. we've been close a few times, and hoping to get a couple of those low trajectory kicks from a little further out and take advantage of it. I think it's probably just simple as that. So credit JT for that one.
Sam's toughness. I mean, did you know he was this tough before you guys got with him this year?
Yeah, I think I've shared this before, but one of the moments years and years ago, Cotton Bowl against Ohio State. It sounds crazy, but I remember watching that game with Chase Young and Bosa, basically hitting him on every single play. Had a ton of drop back attempts and tried to will his team. They didn't end up winning the game, but I learned everything I needed to know then about his toughness and his makeup, to be willing to stare down some real pressure every single snap you drop back. So I think he's a mentally tough guy. I think he's a physically tough guy. I think he's confident in the guys around him, and I think he's confident in our system. And I think when, he just continues to play quarterback at a high level, I think we're a tough team. I really do, and playing quarterback at a high level might just be simply feet, eyes, rhythm, and letting kind of the play dictating the coverage and putting the ball in play. He's done a really nice job 2 weeks in a row of that. And outside of the toss that got pinned on him against Tennessee, he's protected the football for the most part and also been explosive. So it's been a real positive 2 weeks for Sam.
When you're 2nd and 17 there in overtime, backed up after the sack, how much does him just getting that completion on 2nd down change the whole complexion of the drive to be able to keep going after it there?
Yeah, and I think having T.J. Hawkinson, to work the middle of the field for some big catches, it's what the tremendous value T.J. has. Especially on a D&D like that, where you might be able to try to take away 18 and make sure you got coverage over the top and make sure you're staying in kind of a safe mode to maybe give up a completion to Jordan or one of our receivers. But TJ in there on those linebackers, and that was a critical catch. I think Edwards was right there at the catch point, kind of little crease right there in the middle of the defense, and that's a physical in between the hashes type of toughness that TJ's shown time and time again, and then hit the big one, obviously, over the top of the coverage with Justin, taking a lot of coverage with him as he, kind of crossed midfield right there.
What do you like about the run game today, especially not having Josh Oliver out there?
Yeah, not having Josh and then losing Cam. We leaned a little bit more on the 21 grouping and had some success in that. I do want to highlight C.J. Ham. Lost his grandfather this morning. Actually local here in Chicago. He, by the grace of God, got to spend basically a bunch of time with him last night, in his final moments. And then CJ, shows up today and plays a lot of snaps. We really leaned in on that 21 grouping, and he's one of our captains, and he knows that he's got a locker room full of brothers that'll have his back right now. But he was a huge part, physicality in the run game, and I still just one more time want to highlight the way we came off the ball. It looked like we were coming off the rock the way that we need to, and that's against a team that has kind of majored in a lot of movement against us, and what I mean by that is, nobody's a sitting target on that D-line. They're constantly moving and stemming and post-snap trying to stir it up so that you can't ever get the type of movement that we got, and I thought our guys did a great job being prepared and then still playing north-south in the run game, which was huge. And I thought Aaron was, really good, obviously outside of the early fumble.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.